Hello and welcome to day 100. What is it? 124 in this quest for a 2000 rapid chess rating on chess.com. Let's begin. Our opponent played e4, so it looks like a Caro-Kann is in the works here. Let's see how it goes. We're playing a 1625 player, it looks like we're about evenly matched. I'm at 1638 now. I think I had made it up as high as 1661 maybe, and then I've kind of had some trouble and dropped back down. All right, we have the advanced variation. So let's see here what we want to play. Okay, interesting. Well, do we capture in the center here? Maybe. Maybe we just go ahead and capture. And then, I don't know, I gotta get this opening down. I'm still learning the Caro-Kann. So now I couldn't remember if I should have captured there or not. But let's see, let's go ahead, develop, put some pressure on this pawn, even though it's protected by the queen. And we don't want to move this yet if we don't have to, this e pawn, because I'd like to get my bishop out of the pawn chain first. If he develops his knight, I can possibly go up here, pin the knight to the queen. So the only thing I have to watch out for, okay, so they've done it. So I can go ahead and pin that, get my my bishop outside of that pawn chain. Now I can push my e pawn and fortify here. Okay, now the question is, should I go ahead and give up my bishop pair? All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this first, see what they do. If they push this pawn, well, then maybe I'll go ahead and capture here. Okay, so now, let's see. We want to bring this knight out. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. We'll bring the knight out. Then maybe we can jump the knight up here and target this. So we'll have two knights attacking. He could threaten to pin us here. All right, now, do I just go ahead and move up here? Yeah, I think that might be best, just to jump up there. Add the pressure here. So if we get rid of the knight, we'll have two attackers here. So we're definitely putting some good pressure on this d pawn here. Now they could drop their bishop back here and try and pin me to my king. That's a possibility. Okay. Now the bishop jumps in here. And I probably don't want to take this bishop, or it'll just fortify the center. He'll just recapture, fortify the center, have a half open file for his rook. Now the question is, do I want to go after the knight here? Maybe I hold off on that. Another question is, do I bring my queen up here? I probably need to develop my bishop and then castle. So how would be best to do that? Let's see. Well, maybe I just... but if I go here, he could attack me with his knight. He could move his knight up here. If I go here, knight to a4, attacking, protecting the pawn. Let's see. So I probably need to move this bishop. But where would be best? Do I just go here? All right, I'm not sure, so we'll just go there. I don't know, maybe it would have been better to bring the queen out and target this, but then, I don't know, he could just move here. Then what does our queen do? I mean, I guess we could go up here and attack him, but he could push forward and protect his knight. So I'll have to do the analysis. Maybe it would have been better to get some activity up here with my queen. All right. Do we go here? Trying to gain some space on the queen side? Or should we just castle? All right, I don't know. I'm thinking castle. So we'll go ahead and do that. All right, well, now do we have to play this, maybe? And that just slows the attack down. If we do not slow that attack down, then maybe we could jump our knight up to here. If he attacks us, we go here. So maybe we should ignore that. But what would be best to do with our queen? Maybe we capture the knight, then attack his bishop. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll just get some attacks going here. So we'll just start adding the pressure. adding the pressure on here. All right. Now, he could just defend, because if we capture and he captures now, our knight will capture and fork the queen and the rook. So he's probably going to have to defend. So then if we capture, he could just recapture with the pawn, fortifying his center. Which that's what he does. Okay, good job by our opponent. Let's see here. What now? What now? Let's see. Let's see. Is there a way to build more pressure up? Man, I'm gonna have to really study this at some point, and try and figure out what's really going on in this position, because I don't feel like I'm playing it, the best way. We probably should give up, or knock out his bishop pair, but that's just going to reinforce his center. And I don't know if I want to do that. All right, think about this. Think about this. Do we just capture? And if so, do we capture with the bishop? We could do that. We could capture, the pawn captures, and then we bring our queen up into the game. So that is a possibility. All right, so maybe I go ahead and do that. Capture, bring the queen up. Something like that maybe. The only thing, this knight could end up jumping up here and getting into the game. All right, now I'm just really burning through time. So how can I add more pressure to this position? I don't know, I could attack here, but then he'll just move forward. And that's not really doing much. If I go here, he could push forward. If I capture, his knight jumps into here. Then what? All right. I guess we're going to have to just capture here. Do we capture with the bishop and then bring our queen up maybe? So we'll go there. This will allow us to bring our queen up into the game. But I don't know. This is probably not the greatest move because if I go here, he could just pin me. So yeah, that's not so good. But maybe we can jump up here, attacking his bishop and this pawn at the same time. I don't know. So that might be a possibility, but I don't know. Now we open this up. We kind of fortified his center. So I'm not entirely happy with how this played out. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if I like this because now they could just push this pawn forward. Okay. What did that do? Why did my opponent do that? Oh, to protect the pawn, I guess. All right. So now, well, now if we attack his bishop, the bishop can just retreat. And then what? We're kind of left on the sidelines here. All right, let's continue the attack. We'll go after the pawn, or excuse me, yeah, go after the bishop, but now this bishop can just retreat back if it wants to. All right, so now what should we do next? Maybe put the pressure on right here. I don't know, that's what I'm thinking. We just maybe just go there, threaten to capture and then recapture with our knight. But, they could push forward here and attack us. Oh, and there's the threat of this knight jumping here and then forking our rook and the pawn. Okay, well, this kind of helps me. This kind of helps me. So now I can just go there and maybe bring this rook into the game. Oh my gosh, I am missing. Oh no, okay. Whew, I thought I missed a great move. The possibility of forking the queen and the king, but the bishop is covering that square. So if there was a way to get rid of that bishop, this knight could jump right in there. I mean, I could still jump there now, and if the bishop captures, my rook could capture. So that is kind of still a possibility. All right. Oh, he fell for it. He fell for after I just talked about that. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me double check everything. Now the bishop is not covering and we can fork the king and the queen here. So check, and then we get the queen. Oh man. All right. So, they may resign here. Yep, they just resigned. That's crazy after I was just talking about that move. Okay. We jumped up to 1646. And let's do a game review. That game only lasted 19 moves. So, but, it took a while. If I get these openings down better, maybe in the future I could go down to 10-minute games to speed it along more. But I better stick with 15-minute games because I'm still learning these openings and I can't play them fast enough. Excuse me. All right. My opponent played at 72.7 and I played at 84.1. So I had one great move. Let's look at the rest here. So inaccuracies. My opponent had 2. I had 1. They had 1 mistake. I had 0. They had 0 missed opportunities, but I had 2. Oh, and they had 2 blunders. So maybe I missed something. Let's see what I missed. And underneath my image, if you can't see, it says that they played a 1550 rating. That they played at a 1550 rating level, and I played at 1850. So then in the opening, my opponent played with 94.3% accuracy in the opening, and I played at 98.7. So it looks like I played the opening, not perfect, but pretty good. 35.7% accuracy rating in the middle game. So my opponent just fell apart in the middle of the game. And I didn't do so well either, 64.1. So it looks like we have a lot to look at in this game. So I'll let it blast through quickly on this game review. See if it highlights anything. So that was a mistake, bringing their queen up. They should have pushed the pawn forward and attacked in the center, apparently, which I was kind of expecting that move at some point, this pawn push. All right. That or either this pawn push here on b5 attacking my knight. All right, so that was not the best move. That was a missed opportunity. Whoa. Oh man, so there's a little tactic I missed. I could have captured this pawn. Now, would I want to do that? So yeah, I'll definitely look at this in the analysis. It's saying I should have captured the pawn here. That would have been best. All right, something to look at in the analysis. They made a blunder here. And maybe I missed an opportunity. So probably once again, well, what should they have done? They should have moved their bishop over, or excuse me, the queen over and made a queen-bishop battery. So quite a few things in this short game to look at in the analysis. So, hopefully you stick around for that. Once again, I should have captured with that knight, so I just overlooked that tactic. And then another blunder here, which cost the game, after that move, forking, because this pawn is pinned by my queen. All right, let's see here. Go to self-analysis from the beginning, and let's take a deeper look here at what is going on. So e4, c6, Caro-Kann defense. d4, usually white will grab the center. They don't have to, but if you're not fighting white for the center immediately, they might as well grab space in the center and take control. So now we have d5, not letting white completely have the center. So we attack, and they have different options here. They could defend the pawn, exchange in the middle, or what is played in the game, the advance variation. Now at some point I will probably push this pawn to e6, so I don't want to block in my bishop. And first I'm going to play this move here, the Botvinnik-Karls defense. which is in the advanced variation. Excuse me. And normally you don't want to move a piece or even a pawn twice in the opening. But here it's possible because you're attacking something. And my opponent, instead of capturing, which apparently the computer likes c3 the best, but a lot of times people will just capture here. And then, maybe you could try and check immediately and pick that pawn off. I guess you could move here with your e6 move, but it would block the bishop in and then target with the bishop. But anyway, we didn't get into that. Instead, c3 was played. And here, I captured, which is the second best move. They prefer knight to c6, and you could end up with kind of like a French defense game after black plays the pawn to e6. But instead, I capture. So after recapture, which is best, capturing with the pawn, I play knight to c6, developing, although maybe it would have been good to immediately jump my bishop out here, and then I could go ahead and push my e-pawn. But, I was waiting to see if they bring their knight out so I could pin that. And I'm going to have to take a look and do some research on, what plans that I like the best. Here, I thought, well, I'll pin this, and it does say that's best now. And they play bishop to e2, also best, breaking the pin. And now, second best is to immediately capture that knight. But it looks like I might have played the best move. Yes, e6. Just, fortifying my central pawn. This pawn can move here now and not block my bishop. And so the game continued with knight developing. And, I'm wondering, could it have been better to move that knight here? But then you would block in your bishop, and fortify this. So, well, let's go back. What does it say is best here? It does. It says knight at b to d2 is better, just fortifying the other knight. So if I capture, they could recapture. All right, so I start my plan after they develop their knight with knight at g to e7, and it likes that move. I'm getting ready to jump up here and put more pressure on this, and it's saying I should have immediately taken that knight. Now it's saying that that would have been better. So, because white could have an opportunity to move that knight and just trade my bishop off for his bishop. So here we go, castling. I jump up here, adding more pressure, and now the bishop protects. So what is best here? Bishop to e7. Now it's saying h5 would have been a better move. All right. Just gaining space on the king side. So that's a plan I'll have to look into in this opening to try and figure out how to transition from the opening into the middle game and end game. All right, so here we go. We're just, well, I'm trying to get pieces developed, castling, and now the threat of pushing forward and attacking my knight, but the computer actually liked knight to e1 better. So, this is the first inaccuracy in the game. b4, the computer likes that instead, targeting my bishop. So I should go ahead and capture. And now they recommend knight captures as being best. Then, let's see, just rook to c8. I would bring my rook over to the open file. Also, the computer is saying queen to b6, attacking this pawn would be even better. All right, anyway, back to the game. We had b4, and now f6 apparently is my best move, but I made an inaccuracy. And also, they're saying rook to c8 would be even better. So if I play rook to c8, that's a good move. Activate the rook. Possible attack on this knight after I pick off a pawn, maybe. Rook to e1 is the recommendation. And now knight takes e3. Really? Oh, excuse me, wrong piece. Knight takes e3, attacking the rook. So they might want to do that first because the rook was under attack. And now bishop to f5 is better. So anyway, that was better, a better way to go than what I played. Keep my bishop pair. Now they don't have the bishop pair. All right, so back to the game. b4 was played. I make an inaccurate move, but black is ahead here so far. So they capture, which is best, not wrecking their pawns. And then the bishop move. So it says that move is excellent, but once again, rook to c8 might be a better move. So rook brought over to the well, not half open, but brought over to a square where the pawns have been pushed forward. And this is an inaccuracy. The computer likes queen to d3 better. So that just protects the knight in case I jump over here and threaten a discovered attack. All right, so here it's saying I should do what? Play g6. Interesting. That gives my knight a little escape hatch, I guess. And then what? Just either develop the rooks, reposition pieces. All right, I'm not going to go much further into that line. So now we had rook to e1 in the game. I continue by capturing, which is the... now it's saying that's the best move. I capture. They recapture with the pawn. It did fortify their center, though. And now queen to g5. Says that's an excellent move, but rook to c8 would have been a little bit better. So I have to remember that. The rooks are important. Sometimes we neglect them because they're sitting in the corner a lot of times. So you need to get those rooks out. Piece activity. Get your pieces on the best possible squares where they can cover the most lines and squares and do the most. And that'll probably help you win more games. And I need to take that advice myself by getting better piece activity. So this is a mistake here. Better would have been e4. So I better take a look at that. If e4 is played, well... yeah, I don't see my opponent playing that because then we can just capture here. Oh, but... okay, then we're targeting this. So they could capture. We grab that. The queen captures. And then we grab this. And... let's see, how are we material-wise? And then it's just back to even material. But white is left with this isolated pawn that he needs to do something about. So, rook at A. Rook at A to E8 is recommended. Piece activity. All right, so yeah, apparently that's the best move right there. And then what? Rook at A to D1, grabbing the open file. But then now we can go ahead and pick this off. Although now they're saying we should try and protect, or that white should have tried to protect that pawn a little bit more. But it's going to fall anyway. All right, well, back to what happened in the game. Their first mistake here. So now my best move is to capture with either knight, but it looks like this one is a little bit better. So I should go there. And now they can't capture with the pawn or the queen because the knight is covering this other knight. And if the pawn captures, we pick their queen off. So I missed this opportunity. Looks like, what, queen to f2 is what they like. Or even retreating. So maybe that. Now the computer says it's better just to retreat here. All right, retreat back. And now what? Knight to h4. Uh-oh, that's kind of tricky because this knight would be under attack. So is that correct? All right, I might have to look at this. Why? Oh, the knight can't be captured. Man, nice tactics here. See, the pawn can't capture because we grabbed the queen. The queen can't capture because it's preventing checkmate. So here, queen to f2, now the pawn can be captured. Or sorry, the pawn can capture the knight. So we would have to just retreat back. But then we're targeting this. They recommend just jumping the knight forward. But white would be ahead here. So in the game, queen to d2, the first mistake. And I missed my opportunity playing knight to h4. I'm still ahead by about the equivalent of a pawn, but not nearly as much as I should have been. So I just did not see that tactic. The first blunder now. Bishop to d1, a blunder. So queen to e2 apparently would have been better here. And then what? Rook at f to c8. So rook at f to c8. And then, oh, now they want me to bring that other knight back. Okay. So it's saying that this is better. Because from here, maybe I could jump up into the position. Get ready to attack. Take this, jump the other knight up into the game. So another good strategy is have your knights work in tandem, kind of like the rooks. When rooks are working together, they're connected, protecting each other. They work pretty good. And the same thing with knights. When they're close together and one can jump up to protect the other one, or you're attacking and you sacrifice or exchange one knight and the other one jumps up to take its place. All right, let's see here. Bishop to d1 was played. So in order to take advantage of that blunder, we missed another opportunity. I played f6, which we're still ahead, but better would have been, once again, that move. Now, why can the queen not take? Well, we checkmate. The pawn can't take or we get the queen. So queen to f2, and the same kind of thing. Now, what? We just drop back. We're targeting this. What do they recommend next? Oh man, the best move is maybe queen to g3 or knight to b5. So anyway, the blunder, we start attacking here and they capture. We capture with the rook, which is best, getting ready to double our rooks up. And now the second blunder, and a game-losing blunder this time. So rook to a2 was recommended as being best to protect that queen. And then we should go rook at a to f8, doubling our rooks up. Oh, now it's saying that there's a missed opportunity here. Huh. Okay. So this might be even better. Capture. Queen captures. But how do we follow this up? Attack the rook. I don't know if I'm really convinced with this. Oh, because now we're threatening to pin the queen. So you have queen to d2 protecting and avoiding this pin on your king. But that allows the other rook to swing over. And then you're getting ready to go here. So let's look at this attack. Bishop to c2, preventing the rook from checking the king. And then... oh, now we go here. Yeah, and it's looking pretty crazy. This is a serious attack here. Maybe I should start a series of videos called Attack School and show attacking possibilities like this. So, what do they recommend here? Oh man, just giving that up. So if you don't give that up, you're going to run into problems. Oh man, yeah, it is looking awful. So the best thing to do is give that up. And then you don't want your king to capture, because then maybe you could... whew. Looks like, well... queen to h7 is recommended as best. Queen takes on h7. And then the queen gives itself up for the two rooks. So you have that. Rook captures. And now what? Best is queen up to d3, targeting that knight and the pawn. So knight to b1, really? I mean, what if the knight just drops back and protects the pawn? Does that even work? Oh, then you pick this pawn off. Oh, man. Yeah, okay. Well, black has a little bit of an advantage, but still, it's a little tricky with these two rooks trying to break through. But a queen is a queen. If the queen can get in here and start picking things off, and white's king doesn't run into problems with the rooks coming down. Let's see here. Back to the end of the game. The blunder occurs, and the game-winning move is this fork, which the computer says that I think was my only great move of the game. But we're forking the king and the queen because this pawn is pinned by our queen and can't capture. And so my opponent resigned. All right, well, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to leave any comments with whatever you'd like to discuss or say. Thank you for watching, and have a super chess day.